My girlfriend texted, "I gave your concert tickets to my coworker. You'd hate his taste in music anyway." The tickets were for her favorite band that I'd waited in queue for 6 hours to get. I replied, "Hope they have fun." Then I canceled the hotel room, the dinner reservation, and changed my relationship status. When she saw the Facebook notification, original post, I, 28 male, have been with my girlfriend for 3 years. 3 years of me trying to be the best partner I could be. 3 years of remembering every little thing she mentioned wanting. 3 years of apparently meaning absolutely nothing. So here's what happened. My girlfriend has been obsessed with this indie rock band since college. Like posters on the wall, vinyl collection, cried when they announced their reunion tour level obsessed. Every year for her birthday, she'd say she wished she could see them live just once. When I found out they were doing a small intimate show at a venue that only holds about 800 people, I knew I had to get those tickets. The tickets went on sale at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. I took the day off work, told my boss I had a doctor's appointment because I knew he wouldn't understand. I need to fight Ticketmaster for my girlfriend's favorite band. I logged into the queue at 9:30 and watched my screen like a hawk. 6 hours. 6 actual hours I sat there, refreshing, getting kicked out, rejoining the queue, watching the estimated wait time go from 45 minutes to 2 hours to more than an hour, which is Ticketmaster speak for LOL good luck, buddy. I had lunch at my desk. I held my bladder for 2 hours because I was scared to leave my laptop. My back hurt from sitting in my desk chair so long. But I got them. 2 4 tickets. $340 total after all the fees, because Ticketmaster apparently needs a fee for the fee they charged you for the privilege of paying a fee. I also booked us a nice hotel room downtown because the show was on a Friday and I wanted to make a whole weekend of it. Found this boutique hotel she'd mentioned wanting to stay at once when we walked past it. $289 a night for 2 nights. Then I made reservations at this Italian place she'd been dropping hints about for months. The kind where you need to book 6 weeks in advance, and they still act like they're doing you a favor. All in, I was about $1,200 deep on this surprise. Not a small amount of money for a guy who works in IT support. I was so excited to surprise her. This was going to be her birthday present, even though her birthday wasn't for another 2 months. I figured I'd give her the tickets early so she could have something to look forward to. Last week, I finally told her. Showed her the tickets on my phone, the hotel confirmation, the restaurant reservation. Her reaction was weird. She seemed happy, but also immediately asked if she could handle the logistics of the weekend. I thought she just wanted to feel included in the planning, so I said sure. Sent her all the confirmation numbers. Yesterday, I got a text from her while I was at work, and I quote, "Hey babe, so I gave the concert tickets to my coworker. He's a huge fan too, and he's been having a rough time with his divorce. You'd hate his taste in music anyway, LOL. We can do something else for my birthday." I read that text maybe 15 times. I kept thinking I was misunderstanding something. Like maybe gave the tickets to was some slang the kids were using that I didn't know about. I texted back, "You gave away both tickets?" Her, "Yeah. He needed to pick me up. You're not even into them anyway." Me, "Who's he taking?" Her, "Me obviously, LOL. Someone has to make sure he doesn't mope the whole time. It'll be good for him to have company." Me, "So you gave away the tickets I bought to go to the concert with another guy?" Her, "OMG, don't make it weird. He's just a friend. You know I've wanted to see them forever." I didn't respond. I just sat there at my desk feeling like someone had punched me in the chest. She wanted to see them forever. I knew that. That's why I sat in a queue for 6 hours. That's why I took a day off work. That's why I spent almost $1,200 total on this weekend. And she just gave it away to go with some other dude. I went to the bathroom and splashed water on my face. Looked at myself in the mirror. Asked myself if I was overreacting. Decided I wasn't. I called the hotel. Canceled the reservation. They charged me a 1-night cancellation fee, which was almost $300, which hurt. But whatever. Called the restaurant. Cancel that too. The host sounded personally offended, but I didn't care. Then I opened Facebook and changed my relationship status to single. My phone started blowing up about 20 minutes later. Her sister, 2 of her friends. I didn't answer any of them. She finally left a voicemail that I listened to. "What is wrong with you? Are you seriously breaking up with me over concert tickets? You're being so immature right now. Call me back immediately. I texted her back one message. Hope you and your coworker have fun at the show. Then I muted her number. Reddit, I know people are going to say I overreacted, but it's not about the tickets. It's about the fact that she took something I did specifically for her, gave it to another man, and then told me I wouldn't have liked it anyway. Like my 6 hours and my money and my effort meant nothing. Like I was just a wallet she could redistribute from. Am I crazy here? Because I feel crazy, but also weirdly calm about this decision. Update 1, 3 days later. Okay, so I did not expect this to blow up the way it did. My inbox is destroyed. Thank you to everyone who validated that I'm not insane. Also, thank you to the people who called me dramatic. I needed the reality check even if I disagree. So, a lot has happened. First, she showed up at my apartment the night I posted this. I live alone, but she had a key. I heard her come in while I was in the bedroom, and I just stayed there for a second. Took a breath, then walked out. She was standing in my living room, looking furious. Arms crossed. That vein in her forehead that shows up when she's really mad. Her, you canceled everything? The hotel? The dinner? Are you kidding me right now? Me, why would I keep reservations for a trip you're taking with someone else? Her, I wasn't taking the trip with him. Just a concert. You were supposed to come for the rest of the weekend. I actually laughed at that. I couldn't help it. So let me get this straight. I was supposed to sit in the hotel room alone on Friday night while you went to a concert with another guy. Then meet up with you after for dinner like nothing happened. Like some kind of what? Placeholder boyfriend. Her, you're twisting everything. He's going through a divorce. I was being a good friend. Me, you've known him for what, 6 months? You've known me for 3 years. You didn't even ask me. You didn't text me and say, hey, would it be okay if I offered these tickets to my coworker? You just did it, and then told me I wouldn't like the music anyway. Like that was supposed to make it better. She did this thing she does when she knows she's wrong, but doesn't want to admit it. She deflected. This is exactly why I didn't ask. I knew you'd be weird about it. You're always so possessive. Possessive? Because I don't want my girlfriend going to concerts with other men using tickets I bought for her. She rolled her eyes. Actually rolled her eyes at me. God, you sound like my dad right now. That's when I knew we were done. Not just broken up, but fundamentally incompatible in a way I hadn't fully understood until that moment. I told her I needed her key back. She threw it on my counter and demanded I rebook everything. I said no. She asked for the money I'd spent on the tickets so she could at least pay her coworker back for his half. Me, his half? I didn't give him anything. You did. Whatever financial arrangement you two have is between you. Her. So you're just going to let that money go to waste? Me. It's already wasted. The moment you gave those tickets away without asking me, that money was gone. She called me petty, childish, and emotionally stunted. Then she left, slamming my door hard enough to rattle the pictures on my wall. But here's where it gets worse. The next day, her sister texted me this essay, and I mean essay, 12 paragraphs, about how I was throwing away 3 years over a misunderstanding and that her sister didn't mean anything by it, and I needed to stop being so insecure about other men. Insecure, because I expect my girlfriend to not gift away our date nights to coworkers. I didn't respond. Then her MOM called me. Her actual mother. The woman who once told me I was basically family. She left a voicemail saying she was disappointed in me and that her daughter deserves someone who trusts her and that I should think about what kind of man I want to be. The kind who doesn't get walked over, apparently. I didn't respond to that either. But wait, there's more. Yesterday, my ex texted me from a number I didn't have blocked, probably her work phone. She said the coworker had already made arrangements based on having the tickets. Apparently, he told his kids he was taking a friend to the show, and now they were asking questions. And by canceling the hotel, I was now ruining his weekend too. Me, not my problem. I don't know him. I don't know him anything. Her, you're being vindictive. You're punishing him because you're mad at me. Me, I'm being practical. Why would I pay for a hotel room I'm not using? Why would I keep a dinner reservation for a date I'm not going on? Her, because you already committed to it. You can't just cancel things because you're upset. The lack of self-awareness is genuinely stunning. As she canceled our weekend, by giving away the tickets. I just adjusted accordingly. Oh, and I found out from a mutual friend that the coworker isn't just going through a divorce. He left his wife for reasons that are complicated, but apparently involve him having an emotional connection with someone at work. 3 guesses who that someone might be. First 2 don't count. I have her stuff in boxes by my door. Changed my locks yesterday. Yes, you can do that. I checked with my landlord first, and he was cool with it as long as I gave him a copy of the new key. She doesn't know yet about the locks. The concert is this Friday. I'm genuinely curious how that's going to go for her. Also, for everyone asking, no, I'm not getting my money back for the tickets. They're non-refundable and non-transferable. I ate that $340, plus the $289 cancellation fee. So I'm at about $630 total on this whole disaster. It sucks, but honestly, worth it to be done with this whole situation. Update 2, 1 week later. All right, the concert happened, and the aftermath has been something. So Friday came. I spent the evening at my buddy's place playing video games and eating pizza. Try not to think about the fact that somewhere across town, my ex-girlfriend was at a concert I planned with a guy she apparently has an emotional connection with. My buddy kept trying to distract me. He's good people. At one point he said, "Dude, you dodged a bullet. A bullet that was actively trying to hit you and then got mad when you stepped aside." Around 11 p.m., my phone started buzzing. Unknown numbers. Her friends. Her sister again. Turns out my ex and her coworker had a great time at the concert. So great, in fact, that they documented the whole thing on social media. Pictures of them together, him with his arm around her looking up at him during what I can only assume was their song. Matching drinks. A selfie where she's literally leaning her head on his shoulder. And people noticed. One of her mutual friends, the same one who told me about the divorce situation, screenshotted everything and sent it to me with just the message, "Yikes." Apparently the comments were full of people asking who the new guy was and what happened to me. Her response to one comment: "We broke up a while ago. Just didn't update my status." A while ago. We broke up last week because SHE gave away our tickets. But now it's a while ago, and she just forgot to update her status. Convenient. But here's the thing. I didn't even have to do anything. I didn't post about it. I didn't subtweet her. I didn't make any public comments. Her life just started unraveling on its own. First, the coworker's not yet ex-wife saw the concert photos. Because of course she did. It's social media. And she was not happy. From what I gathered through the grapevine, the divorce proceedings just got a lot more complicated. Something about proving the affair started before their separation date, which affects asset division in our state. Apparently, if you can prove infidelity during the marriage, it changes what you're entitled to. His wife is now going after the house, his retirement account, and full custody of the kids. Second, people at their workplace started talking. HR got involved because someone submitted an anonymous complaint about the optics of a manager taking his subordinate to romantic-looking concerts while still technically married. I don't know if anything official happened, but apparently multiple meetings occurred, and it's been awkward doesn't begin to cover it. Third, and this is the part that genuinely surprised me, my ex tried to come back. She showed up at my apartment building Saturday afternoon. Couldn't get in because new locks. She stood there pressing the buzzer for my unit for like 5 minutes straight. Then she called me from the lobby. I watched her on my phone screen through the building's app. Just watched her standing there, looking confused and frustrated. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail that I saved because honestly, it's kind of incredible. "Babe, okay, I know things got out of hand, but I think we can work through this. I've been thinking a lot, and I realized I should have asked you first about the tickets. That was wrong of me. What happened with my coworker was a mistake, and I see that now. He's dealing with a lot of drama with his wife and HR and everything, and I don't want to be part of all that mess. Can we please just talk? I miss you. I miss what we had. She misses me now. After the guy she chose over me became inconvenient. After his divorce got messy and work got awkward and people started asking questions she didn't want to answer. Funny how that works. I didn't respond. Monday morning, she texted me again. Different number again, probably a friend's phone. This time with a different angle. Her, you could at least give me closure. After 3 years together, I think I deserve that much. Me, you gave yourself closure when you gave away our tickets, and went to that concert with another guy. I'm all closed up over here. Her, I made one mistake. One, and you're throwing away everything we built over 3 years. Me, you made a choice. You chose him. You chose to go to that concert with him instead of me. You don't get to unchoose him just because it got complicated. That's not how this works. Her, this is exactly why we never really worked. You're so black and white about everything. There's no nuance with you. Me, the world must be pretty confusing for someone who can't tell the difference between their boyfriend and their coworker. She didn't respond to that one. Tuesday, I got another text from her mom, this time with a very different tone. Apparently, her daughter had explained things better, and she understood now that I was deeply hurt, and she hoped we could all move past this misunderstanding and find forgiveness. I replied, with respect, there's nothing to move past. Your daughter made her choice. I made mine. We're done. She tried calling 3 times. I didn't answer. Her dad also reached out, which was unexpected. We'd always gotten along. He's a quiet guy, doesn't say much. His text just said, I'm sorry things worked out this way. You're a good man. That one actually made me feel something. I replied, thank you. I appreciated being part of your family while it lasted. Wednesday, my ex showed up at my GYM. She doesn't even go to that gym. She's never been to that gym. She just walked in. They have those free day passes you can grab at the front. Found me on the treadmill and tried to have a conversation while I had headphones in. I took out one earbud. Her, we need to talk. Me, no, we don't. What are you doing here? Her, you won't answer my texts or my calls. You changed your locks. I had to find you somehow. Me, that's called stalking. I'm pretty sure there's legal terms for this. Her, don't be dramatic. I'm not stalking you. I just want 5 minutes. Me, and I want to finish my cardio in peace. We don't always get what we want. She actually reached out and grabbed my arm, like physically grabbed it while I was still on the treadmill. I had to catch myself on the handles. Her, why are you being like this? I said I was sorry. Me, removing her hand. You didn't actually. You said things got out of hand. You said it was a mistake. You never actually apologized for what you did. You just complained about the consequences. She started crying, right there in the gym. Full tears, quivery voice, the whole performance. People were staring. Some dude on the weight bench was openly watching like it was a reality show. It was incredibly uncomfortable. Her, I gave you 3 years of my life. 3 years. And this is how you treat me. Me, you gave 3 years and then threw it away for a coworker and concert tickets. I'm just respecting your decision. The front desk staff came over and asked her to leave because she wasn't a member and was causing a disturbance. She made a scene about that too. Called them rude, called me heartless, told everyone within earshot that I was emotionally unavailable and incapable of forgiveness. One older lady on an elliptical near me just shook her head and muttered, honey, he dodged a bullet. I switched gyms this week. Not because I'm scared of her showing up again. I just don't want to deal with that energy while I'm trying to work out. Found a 24-hour place closer to my apartment anyway. Better equipment. Fresh start. Final update, 3 weeks later. Hey, everyone. Figured I'd give a final update since people keep asking how things turned out. So here's where everything landed. My ex eventually stopped trying to contact me directly. I think she finally got the message after the gym incident when I told her the next time she showed up somewhere I'd be calling the police for harassment. I wasn't bluffing. She could tell I wasn't bluffing. But she did try one more thing first. She had her best friend reach out to mediate. The best friend called me last week and gave me this whole rehearsed speech about how my ex realizes she was wrong and has begun a therapy to work on herself and really want another chance and has learned so much about herself through this experience. I let her finish. Then I said, 3 weeks of therapy doesn't fix what happened. And it definitely doesn't fix choosing another guy over me and then only regretting it when he became inconvenient. When things got messy for her, I'm not a backup plan. I wish her well, genuinely, but I'm not interested in trying again. The best friend got quiet for a second. Then she said, honestly, I can't even argue with that. I told her this wasn't going to work. I told her you weren't going to come back. She just doesn't want to accept it. That was that. As for my ex and her coworker, they're apparently taking space from each other. The workplace situation got messy enough that he requested a transfer to a different department. HR didn't technically find anything actionable since they claimed they weren't together during the investigation, but the optics were bad enough that he wanted out. His divorce is turning into a full-blown nightmare, from what I hear. His wife found more evidence of the emotional affair: texts, emails, a receipt from that concert for drinks that was apparently date-coded before their official separation, and is using it to get a much better settlement than she originally would have. He might lose the house. My ex is now single, dealing with the social fallout of her choices being publicly documented on social media, and apparently complaining to anyone who'll listen that I blew everything out of proportion and wouldn't even hear her out. Her version of events, from what mutual friends tell me, is that I abandoned her over a misunderstanding and couldn't handle her having male friends. She's really leaning into the narrative that I was controlling and jealous. Some people believe her. Most people who know the actual story don't. But here's the thing, I don't actually care anymore. Like I thought I would. I thought this whole situation would eat at me for months. I thought I'd be angry, bitter, obsessing over what I could have done differently. But the moment I canceled that hotel room and changed that relationship status, something just clicked off in my brain. The part that cared about her opinion, that worried about what she thought, that wanted her approval, it just went quiet. Like flipping a switch I didn't know I had. I'm not going to pretend the last month hasn't sucked. I spent $340 on tickets I didn't use. I lost a $289 hotel cancellation fee. I wasted 3 years on someone who apparently never saw me as a priority, just as someone who would always be there while she figured out what she actually wanted. That stuff stings. It'll probably sting for a while. But I also learned something valuable. My time and effort are worth more than being someone's backup plan. I'm not a wallet. I'm not a fallback option. I'm not the safe, reliable guy who sits in the hotel room while she goes to concerts with other dudes and then welcomes her back when it doesn't work out. Someone in my original post said something that stuck with me. They said, she didn't give away tickets. She gave away her boyfriend's trust and expected him to thank her for it. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I'm not dating right now. Not ready for that. Still sorting through what 3 years with the wrong person did to my head, what red flags I missed, what I want to do differently next time. But I'm okay. Actually okay, not just saying it. I've got good friends who showed up when it mattered. A job that keeps me busy. A new gym that she doesn't know about. A fresh set of locks on my door. And a very clear understanding of what I won't tolerate going forward. For anyone reading this who's in a similar situation, who's being taken for granted by someone who treats your effort like it's owed to them, who acts like you should be grateful for whatever attention they spare you between other priorities, you're not crazy for having standards. You're not dramatic for expecting basic respect. And you're definitely not obligated to stay with someone who treats you like an afterthought just because you've been together a long time. Sunk cost fallacy applies to relationships too. 3 years with the wrong person doesn't mean you owe them a fourth. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. You just have to be willing to hold the door open. Thanks for all the support, Reddit. Signing off on this one.